Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. I hope everyone can hear me well.
Hi,
Hi,
Shwetha.
Madhu. Hi. So good to see you here.
Yes, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. What about you?
Amazing.
Great. Okay, great. I was a little bit worried about my network, but I think it's all good and we are set to go.
Yes.
So, for everyone who's just tuning in, hi, this is a live with Madhulika, and this is part of our Mom Squad campaign where we're going to talk about motherhood and sailing the motherhood seas, finding your village, finding your support group, and lots more. So let me jump in right and introduce all of you to Madhulika. It's such a pleasure to have her here. For those of you listening in and haven't come across this incredible woman, Madhulika Appasani is a life coach and an expert at personal productivity who made a 360 career change and hasn't looked back ever since. She literally worked through her second pregnancy, and even on the day her child was born, I remember texting her about it. It's absolutely commendable that she did that. And over the years, Madhu has empowered many women, especially moms, with tools and techniques to find their passion, manage their time, and set realistic goals for themselves and see the goals through. So I think that's really fantastic, Madhu, and thank you so much for joining us today, taking the time out. I know you're really pressed for time with two little ones and your career and everything you have going for you, but thank you so much. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. I've really never heard such kind words describing me. That's really nice.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
I mean, you're all of that and more. So,
Thank you.
diving right in, Madhu, how we're going to do this today is we're going to start off with a really fun mommy mojo quiz. This is more
Oh,
like a
cool.
rapid fire. Yeah, this is more like a rapid fire, but it's more mom related, absolutely no judgments, just a fun quiz. And once we finish this quiz, for the benefit of our listeners as well, we're going to be getting into 4 power questions that we will be asking Madhu around different topics that we have lined up. So once we finish these 4 questions, we will be taking audience questions. So in case any of you want to ask Madhulika anything, please go ahead and type it in here. And yeah, so that's how we're going to go ahead with this. Are we ready?
Yes, I'm excited. Bring it
Great.
on.
I'm excited too. Yay. Okay, so let's get started with our Mummy Mojo. Okay, so the first question is, what, according to you, is the most amazing thing about being a mom to two lovely girls?
Hmm. It's that they're girls. I don't know. It's just that they're
Yes,
girls.
absolutely. Girl power. Okay, and moving on to the next. If you have 1 hour alone, what would you do in that 1 hour?
I have a feeling you know the answer, Shweta. I would love
All
to
moms have
sleep.
that same
I would
answer.
love to sleep. Like it
Oh God, yes.
just
Yes.
1 hour, half an hour, 15 minutes. I got 10 minutes before this. I slept and came.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you had a good energizer, I feel.
Yes,
Sleep is everything. Sleep is luxury for us. Okay, moving
exactly.
on to the next. So, what do you miss more? Do you miss your sleep or do you miss your pre-baby waistline?
Ah, I mean, I'm not even gonna fake it. I miss my sleep. You know,
I get you.
I have a feeling I can make it sometime. I think I'm still dreaming, but I can make it to my dream baselines again. But the sleep is like I used to sleep for 7.5 hours straight in the night, and for the last 3 years, I don't remember one single day where that happened.
Yep. I know. With having back-to-back babies, that's the
I
thing about it.
I at least have two at two. You have two under two. Like I can only imagine what's the scene.
I'm high on caffeine at all points of time in my life. So yes. Well, okay. So moving on to our next question. What's the one word that you would use to describe your parenting style?
I think the word is conscious. I'm just,
Right.
if I had to describe it in one word, it would be conscious.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
I think all of us are moving towards that style of parenting. So I think it's very relevant that you said that. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So another fun question. So coffee or wine? What is your mama juice?
Oh, I wish I could say wine, but I'm a feeding mom, and more than that, I think a drink would put me to sleep, where right now my necessity is to wake up. So
Right.
my drink is coffee right now.
Okay. Perfect. All of us, we survive on coffee. Right. Okay, thanks a lot for that, Madhu. I hope that's getting everything pumping right now. So we're going to deep dive into our power questions. And our first question for the live is, so since you work primarily with moms, be it new moms or seasoned moms, what do you think is like their top concern? Apart from raising babies, apart from the sole act of raising their children, what else is their concern?
So, see, I meet a lot of mums, and they initially start off with, help me figure out what my life ambition is, help me find my passion. But I think somewhere deep down, apart from, see, even though we say like, oh, mums are like, like they need help or whatever, it's not really that, right? As mum, like the relationship of a mum in the women is going good. Like we're doing great as mums. But the relationship that we have with ourselves is the one that takes the beating, because we
Absolutely.
are so busy being givers that we are not really receiving. So if you
Absolutely.
if I really have to answer that question for you, I think one is they come to me because they lack self-worth. They cannot, they think they lack self-worth. They cannot see themselves as their old, you know how you ask me, do you miss your pre-pregnancy waistline? They miss their pre-pregnancy confidence, and they know they can be that confident, but somehow in their daily routine they are not able to step up their game on that. So that's
Right.
one thing that comes up. And loneliness. So many mothers think they are alone in this game of motherhood, and it's funny to see. I mean, I use the word funny, but maybe it's more relevant if I say ironic, that so many mothers are coming to me and telling me that they feel lonely.
Right.
Now that's ironic, because there's so many of them having the same problem. So it's just that they
Yeah.
do not know another mother like that exists.
Right.
So I feel yeah, like loneliness, or not knowing that people are on the same boat, or not knowing whom to share this with, is one of the concerns in today's age. Like
Right.
even if they know
Right.
they are feeling alone, they do not
Yeah.
know whom to share this with.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like, I kind of agree with you on that because more often than not, moms are primary caregivers for children. And I feel like not just the act of motherhood, but even the responsibility, even though you have your support system set, but the responsibility of raising a child can actually be overwhelming on the mother's emotional well-being, or it can be a little bit daunting that there's so much that you're responsible for all of a sudden. So I feel like even though you have your support group, as in like a support system in terms of family or in terms of your staff or supportive staff, but the sole responsibility is on you. So I think you take the onus of that, and that kind of makes it a little bit more overwhelming, a little bit more daunting for the mother.
Yeah.
Right,
And
I get that.
also, all sorry, I was pinching my nose. So, also, Shweta, it's not just that we are responsible, or we are the primary caregivers. Try giving them five toys, two grandparents, um, and three nannies. They would still want to come to us. Like
Yes.
how much ever the mom squad is amazing for the mom, but for the child,
Yes.
their go-to is the mom.
Yes.
So at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like there's so much physically and mentally that the mom is doing.
Right. Absolutely. So that kind of leads me on to the next question, like because there is so much that we as parents go through and face on a regular basis. To keep yourself sane, I feel the only thing that has worked in my personal experience is self-care. So
Yeah.
when we
Oh, yeah.
explore this concept of self-care and how important and crucial it is, I'd like to kind of get your opinion on this and understand what is it that you think about it, or what do you feel about self-care, and how different does it make you as a parent?
I am totally for self-care. Like, definitely, if you ask me, is my version of self-care different from just being a woman before marriage or woman before pregnancy and to being a mom? Yes, it's like tons different, but I am totally for self-care. Like, I always say this, and I truly believe this, that a happy mom is any day going to perform and step up her game as a better mom. Yeah. So that's
Definitely.
where I come from. And self-care is not just like having that cup of coffee. It's not just from the outside. Maybe it looks like you're having a cup of coffee, but you're actually taking that 2 minutes off. Like you're not really
Right.
thinking about anything, you know, just that five
Right.
minutes extra hot shower. Like, you know, it's just any of that would be considered as self-care, I would say. Like anything where you get your mind to yourself, get your, you know, body to yourself. Like even meditation is amazing self-care. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm
What is
totally
what
for
is
that.
your what is your big self-care tip, or what is your technique, your go-to technique?
Well, I've answered that thrice already. Sleep, sleep,
Sleep.
sleep. Yeah,
I
but
think very. I obviously get where you're coming from with a tiny infant. All that we could dream about or think about was sleep at that point of time. So I absolutely get it.
so that's sleep is definitely like my, you know, my go-to. But I at least aim to get 2 15 minutes in the day, like two
Yeah.
slots of 15 minutes just for myself. Like for example,
Right.
just before this live, I really took 15 minutes off. Like I just said, like I need to zone out because, you know, I need to
Right.
zone out to zone in into something else.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
that's definitely my go-to
Yeah.
advice.
I'd like to also add in here about my experience of how self care really helped me, in the sense that after I started meditating and after I started doing my energy healing, which I feel is my go to for self care and my mental self care, I feel like it makes me more present in the moment. Like, so there
Yeah.
are times that I would lose it with my 3 year old, or I would want to do things differently, or I would not have the patience that I have otherwise, to be able to deal with those tiny things. But I feel like if you're regularly tuning in to yourself, I feel like you're able to be more present with your child at that point of time. So I think that has made a really huge difference in the way I parent in general.
Absolutely, so well said, Shweta, because I feel at the end of the day, why do we need self-care? Even if you want to look at it from being a mother point of view only, like maybe I would say that it would just make us a little more sane. You
Right.
know, taking that little, see, they're anyways gonna cry. For they're at 2. I mean, my baby is 2 plus right now, and she actually fake cries to prove a point. Now, if I smile, she'll fake cry anything, right? And if I ignore the fake cry, it actually goes into a real cry. So I really do not know what to do. So the only thing I can do is save myself from panicking or save myself from that the otherwise how would we behave, right? Like we would actually
Yeah.
lose it, like you said. Like you know,
Yeah.
instead without losing it, how do I tune in to not lose it or
Yeah.
not lose it for
Right.
15 extra minutes a day?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for that. So, diving into my next question, and this is something to do with what you're absolutely a professional at. So, for all of the moms, on behalf of all of the moms asking or listening in, I would like to personally ask you, how do we be more productive? So you're the productivity goddess. Please give us some sort of tips on how is it that you do this, or how do we make sure that we're utilizing our time right, or how are we being more productive in the day?
Um, See, there are just like a couple of things that I do, right? One, I try and plan my day a little earlier. So if I plan my week on a Friday evening. Just I take 10 minutes to see, like to envision my day or my week, how the following week is going to be, and what would it mean for me to accomplish my goals. So what are the goals in the first place? So I take a pen and paper or a notepad or whatever, and then just jot down things that I need to get done. I don't
Right.
necessarily put a timeline saying that I want to do this on Monday or Tuesday, but I have a plan. I have a rough plan saying that in the next week I got to do this. Now, another thing that ideally I would, if my audience, if it was not a new mom, my approach would be very different, right? But because I did all this while being a new mom, and we are also talking as moms here and talking to moms here, my thing would definitely be that go with your energy. In the day, in the week, whenever you feel good, get to work. When you
Right.
don't, see many of us, what we do is, oh, in the day we have to work for 2 hours, right? Like, oh no, 2 hours so I have to do. So they'll sit and do whichever 2 hours they get. When I say 2 hours, like I mean like in the middle of the day, whenever, whenever, maybe when the baby's trying to sleep, yes, please do that. But how are you feeling at the same time?
Right.
Just because the baby's sleeping doesn't mean you are high on energy, right?
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes, like, by the time baby takes a nap, it's already half day done, and we are like panicking, oh my god, I have so much work to do. Generally, I would at that point ask myself, or I would um, nudge everybody to ask themselves that how do I feel at this moment? If I feel high in my energy, or at least medium in my energy, that's the time to focus on the things. If you're feeling
Right.
absolutely drained out, that's the time to go sleep or take a nap,
Right.
or take some alone time and then pump up that
Right.
energy. So I feel like to be productive, first as a mom especially, we need to know our energies and then plan ahead. And then the next thing that I do, or in fact, my clients have really seen some results in this particular tip, is that stop looking at time as if it's a day. Start looking at it as if it's a week. Now, when we do
Right.
that, we suddenly have 168 hours against 24 hours. And how much
Yes.
ever we sleep, or how much ever we don't sleep, and we're completely being, the moms are running around or whatever, we still have the time to do whatever we want to do. I mean, the time is
Yes.
not going to come the way we look at it. Like, it won't come in like the 1 hour or 2 hour slots, but there will be pockets of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something where we can actually
Yes.
focus on doing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think also that's why we have our support group around us, because when we feel that we're high on energy and this is the time that we could get some productive work done, we could rely on our support system,
Yeah.
in case we want someone to watch the baby while we're working, or, getting chores done or whatever it is. That's also, again, how important building your support
I
group
would,
is.
yeah, definitely. I would say that that's the unsaid real help of, having, um, being a mom. It's that,
Right.
there is someone to fall back on when you really can. Like for 23 hours in 24 hours, the kids want the mother. But there's that 1 hour they're really active and they want to play with someone else, or they
Yeah.
want to sleep and they get that sleep hour. At that time we should be able to step up our game, and like you said, we need that mom squad around us, that 1 hour when we really want to work on ourselves. It's like perfect.
You're able to do that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, you're able to do
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to my next question. They say it takes a village to raise babies. We need our
Yeah.
support group. We have an entire campaign around this concept. So I want to know, in your personal experience, how has that helped you, and what is your take on having a village to support you?
I am totally for it. See, and I also want to give two different definitions of a village around our babies, right? Like, so I've been a mother for 2 years and 4 months, and pregnant for about, like basically the journey has been like plus 9 months, right? Like,
Yes.
so through these 3 years, I have lived in two different cities. One in Hyderabad, which is my current city, which is my hometown. And one, maybe for 2 years out of these 3 years, I have lived in Chennai, which is which is not my home city. I really do not have my parents or in-laws or anybody, no family in Chennai. But
Right.
it was still amazing because of that village that I developed for myself. Like, and and you and I did meet in those 3 years, right? Like
Yes.
a
Yes.
major part of our relationship is with us
It's
being
built
moms.
around having our babies. Yes.
Exactly. And when I say village, and especially one is the parents, in-laws, family support. One is the staff, home management support. The others is that mental companionship. Like, what
Yes.
is that fellow mom? If only on a bad day, you know, I didn't know in the beginning that on a bad day, everyone else is also having this kind of a bad day. Like when my baby doesn't sleep in the night, I used to think only my baby is not sleeping in the night. And then suddenly, someone added me to this mom group in 2018 with like 30 other moms. And, you are also there in that.
We are part of,
Uh,
yeah, part of that group. Yes.
Yes, and then I see those messages like someone had a diaper rash, someone had a bad morning because they didn't sleep, someone's not eating, and I'm like, oh my God, so this is also human. So I think like,
Absolutely.
and also best part with being in this having a village to raise your child is also that you want to know who else is having the same age baby, right? At the end of the day, like we
Yeah.
all have like cousins and family who's
Yeah.
who's done it, been there, done that, but in the
Done. Done.
reality they don't really remember what pains they went through, so
Yeah.
like there's nothing like, sometimes we can't really relate to them.
Exactly.
uh,
Yeah, and I think in that sense, I had the same experience as well. Like you, I moved to Chennai when I really didn't have anyone here in terms of family or support, and I had
yeah.
my son here in a completely new city, being
Yes.
all by myself. Which is why I can't stress enough about the importance of actually, finding your group.
Yeah.
And for me, it took me a while to build on it, but as I did, I feel like it has been the only reason why this journey has been, easier for me. Being a mother of two under two, like, so
Yeah.
it has really helped me in that sense of more having the feeling that I'm not alone, having the feeling that there's someone I could ask for, any sort of advice I need or any sort of questions I have. Because like you said, our parents and our previous generation was raised very differently, and we were raised very differently. So we were raised for a world that is now, but we're raising our children for a world that we don't know what it's going to be like, right? So it's new for everyone. And with this whole shift in conscious parenting, gentle parenting, positive discipline, and there's so much happening, there's so much that new mothers are talking about, and there's so much that, so much information that they're probably reading or learning from different sources. And I feel like this share and this community really helps moms kind of like, up their game a bit, if you know what I mean. so
Yeah.
so I think that in that sense, it was extremely important for me and very crucial for me.
No, I mean, yes, like, after the children go to school, the moms meeting for the traditional way of having friends is moms meet their kids' friends' moms, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
traditional
Yeah.
way of meeting another mom. But what about moms
Yes.
till they go to school? Like my kid is not into
Yeah.
school yet, and even if I wanted to join her at 2.5, there's like this whole COVID situation has created this whole home environment. So where do I go
Yes.
and ask for that support, or just comfort? Not even support. Like
Right.
I just want some comfort, saying that, oh, okay, cool, we all
Exactly.
are on the same boat.
Yeah.
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 So it's a
Exactly.
very different
Yeah.
time, very different need of parenting, very different. But at the end of the day, the support is all we want.
Definitely. I agree and 100% on that. So, in fact, even at different stages of motherhood and pregnancy, I feel like the support system that you have really helps you through it. Like even postpartum depression, if you talk about postpartum, I went through a different degrees of it with both my pregnancies and both my deliveries. And also I felt that, you can't really expect all your needs to be fulfilled from one person. Like, for example, your spouse, you can't put all that on him, because he probably really doesn't know what you're going through in terms of your hormonal changes or whatever it is. So I felt that in that sense as well, my support system really helped me through it. And for all the moms listening out there, we at the Play Club have been a constant advocate of going and finding your group. We've been like talking to other mothers about being inclusive, and reaching out to that mom who has just delivered or who really doesn't know people in the city, and just kind of building a whole community around it. We feel like it's very important because it's personally important to me.
Yeah.
So that's also the reason why we got into this. The whole purpose of everything that we do, the core of everything that we do, is to build mom support groups.
Yeah.
So and I think it's so important to address that, and probably even put that message out there, right?
It is very
Okay,
important,
so
yeah.
yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna, since we have a little bit of time, I'm going to actually add in one more question, and then we'll take an audience question. So if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and type that out. I do have a couple of questions coming in on my messages. Let me save my question and go directly to the audience question, because it seems quite interesting. So we have a question about mom guilt, and I think it's super important to address this. This question is coming in. Yes, this is an audience question just coming in. So, mom guilt is so real. Is there a work-life balance? And if there is, what is your take on it? And what is your tip to achieve it?
First of all, mom guilt it doesn't leave anybody. Like, I don't think I heard Indra Nui talk to um everybody in Chennai. Like, I was a part of her talk show, and even
Oh, wow.
she has mom guilt. Okay. So even she had it.
Okay.
Like, so this is what I have to say. Any kind of feelings, guilt, mom guilt, or anything, right? Any kind of feelings are feedback. What we take out of it is our thing. So when I
Yeah.
say it's kind of feedback, it's maybe trying to tell us that we are running too fast, or maybe we have to come up with some systems in our absence, so that we are going to feel more secured about it. So
Right.
definitely mom guilt is, yes, but I would ask you, what are you doing about it? Don't So this is to whomever has asked me this. It's not that we don't have mom guilt. The thing is, what did I do with that feeling? How did I take that feedback and, you know put something in my daily system? So for
Right.
example, I actually took this up from Indra Nui, right? So what she said is, whenever her younger child calls her, the receptionist actually, so if she calls the office number and says, hey, listen, is my mom there? Or, mommy, what do I do? Or something like that. The receptionist actually talks as if she is Indra Nooyi herself. And so she basically gave the receptionist a few questions, saying that,
Right.
Okay, so did you do your homework and blah, 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 blah. So this checkpoint makes that girl, her kid, feel very safe, that, okay, mommy was available. Now,
Right.
so I would like to take that example and come back into my life and see what I have done, right? Like, so
Right.
I know my office hours. And in fact, I
Yeah.
have tweaked my office hours to make sure it's my baby's playtime or sleep time.
Okay. Okay.
So what happens is, when she wakes up, there's this transition. So I have planned that transition in a way that, she would not need me. For example, maybe her favorite toy is waiting for her, or maybe her apple, which she really loves, is waiting for her. And so basically, it's a story tell, right? Like, I have
Right.
developed, like, when she's going into her nap, I say something like, oh, the minute you wake up, so and so and so and so will take you to the playroom. Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
so
So you
she's
prepare
actually
her for
looking.
it.
Exactly. So I have taken the mom guilt, and what did I do out of it? I came up with some kind of systems. So definitely schedule all of this. If you're feeling mom guilt, either you are not, I mean, the only thing that is happening is you're feeling it but not doing anything. So whatever
Right.
it is, whatever that means to you, just make sure you're taking action on that. And second thing is, I think you said, what's your tip for handling mom guilt? So see,
Yeah.
mom guilt is my feeling, right? At the end of the day, this is not there in the child, or maybe it's there, maybe it's not there, but this is a feeling as a person I'm going through. So
Right.
how can I make it better? I can make it better by maybe scheduling extra 15 minutes or whatever quality time with my children.
Yeah.
So I'm actually on a daily basis, say if we schedule saying something like I want to sing that song with her or dance to that tune with her or something. I keep saying her because like I
Yeah.
have girls, so
Yeah.
please feel free to turn it into my kid or my son or something. So excuse me on that. So I do try to come up with some kind of a toy that I tell her, like the minute mommy's out of office, we are gonna play with that. So
Right.
she's looking forward, I'm looking forward, and I'm truly looking forward to wind up work and go run and play with her. And that way I don't
Definitely.
remember, that way I don't remember that I was guilty. I
Yes.
actually remember that I'm looking forward. So I flip
Yeah.
that emotion, that feeling with looking forward or something like that. I mean, having
Yeah.
said that, Shweta, I go through this on a weekly basis. It's a weekly cycle. I feel the guilt and then I come out of it. Like I feel the guilt, do something to come out of it. So if you are feeling mom guilt, it's absolutely fine. It's a real thing. It happens. We are but human.
Definitely, definitely. And I think that's so beautiful the way you kind of put it. And we never really thought about it that way because I think we wallow on the negative aspects of mom guilt. You know, why am I feeling this? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to focus on my career or am I supposed to focus on my child? Or
Yeah,
am I maintaining that balance? You know, there's so much going on. There's so much mental chatter that's going on in your head when you actually have these mom guilt feelings. But
yeah,
I absolutely love what you said about only focusing on that actual time, that quality time that you probably are going to spend with your child, because I think it kind of changes the entire mindset towards, you know,
yeah,
your outlook and your mindset towards your day and how you are with your child when you actually have those 15 minutes with your child. I think, you know, that completely changes the game. But
yeah.
thank you so much for that tip. I hope it's helpful for whoever asked that question. So let's move on to our next audience question. We have time for one more. Uh, right. Okay. This is another very important, relevant one. So, Madhulika, could you give us time management tips? Madhu is an expert at this. We all need a Madhu in our life for time management. Madhu, please go ahead and give us your gyan about time management.
See, I think in the beginning I told about, how to see the. I don't know if they were there, if she or he was there to in the beginning when we spoke about the productivity tips, where spoke about looking at the week in advance and not a day in
Yes.
advance. That actually comes
Yes.
up with a lot of time, and there's
Yeah.
there's more scope to do more things. And second thing was
Definitely. Yeah.
planning. I came up with
Yeah.
planning. Please plan in advance, and that'll just like that. I can't tell you how much of time that saves on the actual day we are doing something, because we are saving brain space to think. Like we don't have to think, we already did that thinking part on Friday nights. So
Right.
the doing part is takes lesser time than actually what we think. So, and the
Definitely.
third thing is follow your energy. Now, do what you can do when you really can do that. So that's my thing. And another thing, because they asked this, I'm going to give another tip, Shweta, is that 80-20 rule, which is, I think, called Pareto's principle. It's basically
Okay.
when you are so crunched with time, when you
Yeah.
have like, I remember this time during pregnancy and, newborn phase, I had 20 minutes in the day. And I just did not know how to, like, do you want me to waste time thinking, or what should I do? Like, I only have 20 minutes. And this is actually coming up from that. And this is not an original principle, but this is something I actually applied. It's
Okay.
basically that 80% of the results come with just 20% of tasks. And
Oh, wow.
when you're really, really crunched with time, you want to really do, you want to ask yourself, what is that one thing if I do that's going to get me 80% results? I mean, if you're
Right.
really crunched with time, I don't think the game should be being 100%. I think the game should be being the best in less time,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
So at that point, really ask yourself, what is that one thing that I can do in 20%, like 20 minutes, but that will move me forward?
Definitely. And I also would like to add here, and for the person who asked this question, I would like to say that Madhulika has a master class on time management on her website, which is absolutely very relevant to all of us
Oh,
mums as
thanks.
well, and very very apt, for us to actually pick out certain points and kind of like integrate it into our schedule. So please go ahead and see that on her website, because I think it's very very helpful. I had to say that in here because I
That's so
personally used
sweet.
it and it really helps me. So
Thank you.
great.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
thanks a
definitely check
lot,
out.
Madhu. Yeah, I think that's all the time that we have. I don't want to take too much of your time. So thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out to do this. I hope it's helped everyone who's been listening in, and I hope your questions have been answered. So thanks again, Madhu. It was such a pleasure to chat with you as always.
So awesome to be here. So grateful, and all the best with your Mom Squad app.
Thank you.
I mean, I can't tell you what kind of a justice you're doing to moms. Like, it's really required out there. All the best to you, Shweta.
Well, fingers crossed. Let's see.
Yay! Waiting for
Yeah.
the
Thank you
launch.
so much, Madhu. Thank you. Thank you for supporting as always. Thanks a lot.
Done. Bye. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.